Hello, Didoodle. I return in peace. Yeah. It's vampire therapy time. Again. How do you do? Will it appear? It appeared already. So cozy. Pretty good. Had fun with my stream today. Oh, you streamed today. I will have to catch your streams. Are you planning to do a lot of streaming this week? Still? No music. So dramatic. Yes, music. What kind of clients we had? We had Medi, who was a streamer and very much a killer, and Edmund Keen. This was the gaslighter, and Isabella Este, who had really high expectations, and they still took the train. All right. I wonder what is what.
Giddy up, little doggy.
Doggy?
I ain't heard that one in a while.
Me neither.
Truth is, I'm running out of cowboy terms. What can I get you, handsome?
How about a kind ear for my troubles?
You got a real old school way of seeing bartenders. But in this case, you're right. I am a good listener. Lay it on me.
I got this new client. It makes me feel old.
The streamer client who was like super old, actually.
250-year-old man feels old, huh?
Yeah. But seriously, I thought I understood people, but she's from another time, like. I've been around a long time, and I ain't seen nothing quite like this internet. But my client lives there.
When Sonny hears what? Doggy?
And you think you can't help her because you don't understand the internet?
Oh, you're installing Fallout London. Are you going to stream that?
I reckon I can be of some aid. Just gotta figure out all this technology. My dial-up modem might not be up to today's standard.
Giddy up, little doggy. Oh. But what should Sonny do then? My brother's dog. He has taught the dog to nod when he says, how do I translate? Damn, I the words don't come easy to me tonight. Thought I'll stream it soon because last time I played it crashed a lot. Oh. That's too bad. I would have been interested to see it. Like check the VODs even if you were doing that.
Maybe you were right. You are ancient. But I'm glad you're feeling confident, cowboy. A vampire who can adapt is a mighty fine one.
Failed to send. Connection problems?
Gosh.
Here's the thing, cowboy. Nobody understands the internet.
Just as she said, nobody understands the internet.
I don't feel old yet, though. Still just glad to be alive, thanks to Andy's blood.
Oh, yeah?
Just for one message. That happens sometimes.
I know you've been curious about why I've been drinking vampire blood. You don't have to pretend. I've got a rare blood cancer. Andy's blood is what's keeping me alive.
Oh, I'm real sorry.
I didn't say I was dying. I said I had cancer. Stop making that face.
Sonny's party because she got up to say hi. She thinks you should just stay down and rest. She is so wise.
I'm just glad I found Andy. Don't think I was quite ready to die.
Thanks for lurking.
I, for one, am glad you're sticking around, Crimson.
Well, thank you kindly. So what'll it be, Sam? You ain't gonna dance?
No, I ain't gonna dance.
You owe me that story one day, cowboy.
That story.
Here, have a little something I whipped up for Andy. Herbal blood tea.
Herbal blood tea. That's not good for vegetarians.
No garlic, right?
No garlic.
Mighty kind of you. Maybe I'll take a nightcap. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Imagine tea with garlic. Well, actually that could be alright if you have a pretty bad flu. I don't know. I haven't tried it. And I don't think I would really want to. Better use just some ginger.
Adios, muchacho.
Muchacho?
I think that's my last client for a while. My caseload's big enough. I'm starting to get overwhelmed.
And you haven't seen any clients twice yet.
Maybe something from one of my books will inspire me.
Books?
But then again, I could watch cartoons instead.
Read a poem.
I think I'll read a poem. I've got one I love. Care of one, Walt Whitman.
Why did that cut off?
I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me, as good belongs to you. I loaf and invite my soul. I lean and loaf at my ease, observing a spear of summer grass. My tongue, every atom of my blood, formed from this soil, this air, born here of parents born here, from parents the same, and their parents the same. I, now 37 years old, in perfect health begin, hoping to cease not till death. Creeds and schools in abeyance, retiring back a while, sufficed it what they are, but never forgotten. I harbor for good or bad. I permit to speak at every hazard. Nature without check, with original energy. Just a little reminder that I'm still human. I think that's enough action for one night. Time I got me some shut-eye. Good night, son.
So much action. What a poem. I'm not very good with poems.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. How are you feeling tonight?
How is Sam feeling tonight? Did he write in his book? So, I know the internet's been driving the mortals batty, but dang if it isn't affecting us vampires too. Hello, Serafina. Why do you always delete the messages when someone lurks? I have some setting that automatically deletes it. I'm not actually doing it manually or pressing a button or anything. Maybe I should change it. It doesn't really make sense. I need to write a note about that, so I remember to do that. Change delete messages. Yes. That is a strange setting, I suppose. Where was I? I've got a new client that has half the world watching her play video games online. What's that all about? Next thing you know, they'll be making cinemas where you stand behind the screen and watch folks watching the movies. The world sure is a strange place. Andy says that's it for new clients, and I'm grateful for that. I've been feeling a little cooped up here in the city. I'm taking a weekend trip to the mountains, out in Haas. Gonna take the Autobahn. I'm past fearing death anyway.
Not bad, not bad. A little overwhelmed, but I guess I kind of have a lot going on these days.
How is Serafina doing tonight? This evening? Whatever.
Indeed you do. The mind is an easy place to get lost in, is it not?
It is.
You ain't kidding. Keeping all them cognitive distortions in my head and sorting through all my clients' problems ain't easy.
We are not machines, Samuel. I believe you will find that you can never handle everything at once. There is a term the mortals use these days, multitasking. It's a kind of meta-control fallacy. Even we must handle thoughts one at a time.
Meta control fallacy.
I guess. I just hope I can concentrate on my own therapy with all this stuff bouncing around in my noggin.
Full of grinding for Warframe, going to stream it tomorrow. So preparing for that. Oh, you are playing it so that you can play it on stream. So you are doing grinding off screen so that you can do the more exciting parts on stream. Is that right? Did I understand correctly?
I do not expect you to be an exception to the rule, my dear fellow. Let us see whether we can clear your head. I would like to introduce you to a ritual I have learned for stealing the mind.
This some kind of ancient vampire secret? Something the old ones gave you that's been lost to time? Something mortals could never imagine?
Grind so that can focus on story. I see. That is sensible. And really smart.
No, it's just meditation.
Oh.
That does not make the technique any less valuable. Now then, close your eyes. I will guide you through this process. Think of a place that brings you comfort. Where is it?
Place of comfort. Is it his coffin?
I'd have to say the woods. I always liked
Woods?
being in nature.
Must be hard for him to be in the city.
Then imagine the woods and let your thoughts come to you. Be attuned to your body. Breathe, and you will be able to address your thoughts and clear your mind. Now close your eyes and begin.
This is a mini game. What's here? Breathe in. And let go. Watch as breathing slows down your thoughts. Lest the clear thought hover over it.
I ain't cut out for this therapy thing. And it sure is a tall glass of water. I miss my princess. I kinda miss farting. Focus, Sam, focus. Who's got a pretty mane? Wonder what's on Batflix. Should I hook up with Reinhardt? I'm so bad at meditating. I like blood from San Antonio, not New York City. Relax.
It is
Ain't no
difficult.
vampire hunters here. Who's my favorite horse? Is it you?
How are you feeling now?
Stressed.
Yeah, all right. Fine, really. All them thoughts just feel like thoughts.
That was too much multitasking.
What sorts of things came up for you?
Well, I thought about my clients. I thought about all them cognitive distortions. My horse came up a lot.
Does he still have a horse? A vampire horse.
Your horse?
Yeah, Princess. She was my horse back when I was alive. I still think about her every day.
Every day.
Stop.
For like, what, 250 years? Still thinks about one horse.
I understand. I have bonded with many horses in my own life, but it sounds as though the loss of Princess was particularly fraught.
Yeah,
Would you like to start there?
not sure I'd like it. But seeing as it's come up, maybe we should talk about what happened to her. It's got a lot to do with my old gang.
What, did they kidnap her?
I mentioned them before. The Mystic Bastards was their name. They were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose, and I had nothing to lose.
What? Princess?
That sounds like some Nosferatu thinking, my friend.
Oh, I can see that now. But it turned out I still did have something to lose. And they took that from me to prove my loyalty. They took my princess. Killed her in cold blood.
Yeah.
And made me watch the whole thing. They made sure she saw me too.
They made sure she saw me too. How cruel. Imagine he's there practically tied up and the horse looking at him pitifully.
Oh, Samuel, I am so sorry.
I just stood there, watching her dying, with them big eyes looking at me like she knew I'd betrayed her. They knew what it would take to break me, and it's my fault for letting them do it.
But Samuel, these mystic bastards, it sounds as though these loyalty tests were a cruel, mechanical part of their indoctrination process. These are the actions of a cult. They had no special care for you or your princess.
Definitely not.
Well, it sure as shit worked. They knew where to hit me, and it's my fault for letting it happen.
What they did, Samuel, had little to do with you personally. You were vulnerable, and they took advantage. This is what cults do.
Such are mystic bastards.
But Samuel, you are exhibiting a cognitive distortion known as personalization. You are attributing the mystic bastard's actions entirely to your own supposed failings.
So that's personalization? But often we assume things happen because of us. Heck, often they do. That's why we get tempted by personalization, wrongly linking external events to ourselves in case where realistically there ain't no definite link. Sometimes people actually are out to get us, or we do cause events, but sometimes we are doing some personalization. Thank you for the pets. I need it. My brain needs it. How do I learn this How do I learn this stuff when I can't even speak?
While it is natural to grieve for your horse, holding yourself solely responsible is neither fair nor accurate.
Hold on a sec, my head's hurting. I can't hold on to all them distortions all the time. Ain't personalization a lot
Pets
like
are really
control
nice.
fallacy?
Of course I should look happy.
An astute observation, Samuel. Personalizations are often a form of control fallacy. While control fallacies often manifest as a belief that you have more control over external events than is actually the case, personalization is a more specific tendency to believe that external events are reactions to you. But let us leave control fallacies out of the picture for now. You are correct that keeping all distortions in mind at once is unrealistic.
Yes, especially at the beginning.
I would not interrupt your thoughts if I did not think personalization important. You are shouldering the blame for Princess's death. I can see that.
Well, if it ain't my fault, who else's is it?
The Mystic Bastards, of course. Let me put it into perspective for you. I will make a series of statements, and you help me identify the personalization distortion. I overslept in my coffin because I forgot to set my alarm. I bit Crimson's neck last night and missed the vein because I was distracted. It was entirely my fault.
That's the personalization.
It
There's
wasn't?
a million reasons why you might miss a vein. Sometimes finding the right one can be tricky.
But I admitted that I was distracted. In this case, I am clearly the cause of my accident, and it is no distortion to say so.
I guess that makes sense.
Let me continue. Batflix raised my subscription price again because they knew I would pay no matter what.
Batflix.
Well, that's the personalization. Badflix has no earthly clue who you are. They just raise their subscription prices anyway.
Just as your gang planned to isolate members from their former lives. Do you see the connection?
I guess so. I was just too stupid to see it at the time.
Calling yourself stupid is what distortion?
Yeah, it's labeling. But I should have known anyway. I knew that crew was bad news. I just thought I was bad news too.
You should have known? That's another distortion of realities.
All right, fine. Should statement, whatever. So what the hell am I supposed to do, Andy? Say nothing's ever my fault and I don't gotta know nothing? I was responsible for getting that beautiful horse killed. She trusted me, and if I'd been someone else, she wouldn't have had to die in that awful way.
I am not asking you to lie to yourself. Far from it. And I am not suggesting that you absolve yourself of all responsibility. But what would you say if a friend came to you with the same story? Would you tell them what they should have done? Would you call them stupid? You said yourself that you joined your gang because they were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose. I do not think this is a circumstance most people choose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Remember, Samuel, we are trying to reframe our thinking by clarifying these distortions. I know it may feel as though I am picking on you, but I am not. Let us forget what you should have done to make room for a different distortion. You are drawing a direct link from your emotion to the death of your horse. This is a distortion called emotional reasoning.
Let's see that. Emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning is when we act like our feelings represent reality. But no matter how unhappy we are, feelings alone don't define the world. I asked Andy, ain't everything emotional reasoning? He said no. Emotional reasoning specifically when we project our feelings onto the world. The world can feel like garbage when I feel like garbage, but that don't make it reality. That's true.
I understand the guilt you feel, Samuel, but your guilt does not act on its own. This terrible thing, it did happen. and some choices you made undoubtedly created the circumstances for it to occur. You are not blameless. But let us restrict your blame to what you have actually done.
I'm sorry. I get awful worked up when talking about my princess. You should have seen her, Andy. She had these eyes. She looked right into my tainted soul and still loved me.
I understand, Samuel. We feel tremendous guilt when we fail an animal. When we look at reality, it is not to dismiss our burdens, but to process them fairly. I would like you to understand emotional reasoning so you can see how emotions color our thoughts. Please listen, and call me out when I am using emotional reasoning. I feel anxious. Perhaps it is the garlic naan I smelled from the Indian restaurant next door. The mood in my club is somber tonight. I am sure it is a reflection of my own dark mood.
That's the emotional reasoning right there. I don't think them folk in the club know too much about how you're feeling.
Exactly. Our emotions can feel all-encompassing, and that is purely biological. We are animals, Samuel. There is a small cluster of brain tissue at the base of the cranium that tells us we are safe or that we are about to die.
What an oversimplification.
The complexity of our existence is at odds with our biology, but we have the logic to recognize it.
Well, if reincarnation's a thing, I think I'd rather come back as a horse.
It is indeed a boon and a curse to have human complexity of thought.
No kidding. If I were a horse, I'd know better than to join any cowboy gang, let alone the Mystic Bastards. I'd be happy with a bag of oats and a field to run around in.
I still wouldn't want to be a horse. Like princess. You might be forced to join a gang as their horse.
How did you end up with the Mystic Bastards in the first place?
Well, like I said, I didn't have much choice. Nobody would have taken me in at that point, except a hangman, maybe. I wasn't a vampire yet, so hanging didn't sound too appealing. The last job I did got my brother killed. And after that, my wife left with my daughter and I never saw him again. Can't say I blame her. I didn't have nobody. Ain't no surprise that a vampire gang would be the only people to take me in.
Aha, so that is how you turned.
Yes, sir. It wasn't pleasant. Not the candlelight and writhing body sort of affair you see in mortal vampire stories.
That is terrible, Samuel. The turning is never easy. How did they find you?
That job that got my brother killed? We partnered up with one of them Mystic Bastards for it. He knew where to find me.
And he knew you were vulnerable and that you had no place to go.
I've thought about that. Were they setting me up all along? Maybe. But whether they were or not, I really didn't have any place to go. I know when them wanted dead or alive posters go up, folk find dead easier and more fun. People saw me as outlaw scum when I was a kid, and there was no way they were going to be kinder knowing I was in a gang.
You know this for a fact. You are certain that no one would have any pity on you at all, that your only recourse was to join your gang?
I guess I don't actually know that no one but the bastards would have taken me in. Sounds like a cognitive distortion, huh?
I think you see the patterns now. It may seem like pedantry, and perhaps it is, but pedantry is the search for ultimate truth.
That sounds frightening.
Spoken like a true pedant.
It comes with being terrifyingly old. You discovered the cognitive distortion before I could point it out to you. It is a cognitive distortion similar to Nosferatu thinking, so let us put that particular distortion out of our minds.
Oh no, not my Nosferatu thinking.
Yes, things were grim for you, but your experiences caused you to assume that there were none who would favor you with a kind eye. You were exhibiting the cognitive distortion of overgeneralization, the idea that no mortal could accept you.
Overgeneralization. There are so many new cognitive distortions here. I'm scared. Overgeneralization is when we take one or two experiences and then assume future experiences will always be the same. Mortals overgeneralize when they think all vampires date high schoolers based on that one vampire book they read. We know that what we've experienced, but it's a distortion to think our experiences represent a pattern or the whole of something. Yes. Sounds familiar.
This clouded truth made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastard's approach.
Twilight is canon. It's the ultimate truth.
Damn. Maybe we went wrong, huh? I should have joined the Foreign Legion or something. Dang it, should statement.
Your mind is not a cognitive distortion shooting gallery, Samuel. Cut yourself some slack. All we seek is recognition of our distortions, not perfection and not punishment. Let us test your ability to recognize overgeneralization. Then I believe we will have covered enough for tonight. Allow me to begin. Elder vampires are insufferable. They all think they know everything.
I guess that's
Wait, ain't you an elder vampire? You don't seem like much of a know-it-all.
That's right, Samuel. Though in all honesty, I used to be quite insufferable myself. I aspire to be more patient these days. Let me continue. It seems to me that being a werewolf is pretty rough. Vampires from Transylvania all have funny accents. I want to suck your blood. Who talks like this?
That seems like an overgeneralization, Andy. I ain't sure any of them ever sounded like that. Pretty sure they all sound American these days anyway from watching bat flicks all the time.
Correct, Samuel. I apologize for the offensive accent. It was employed only to prove a point. Well done, Samuel. Your ability to identify cognitive distortions continues to impress. But let us bring things back to you. I do not ask you to absolve yourself of the things you have done. You did not have the tools to be mindful of the thought patterns that made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastards. I have seen mindfulness take root in you, though, Samuel. I hope this session has been helpful to you.
So in this session, he had some meditation and then learned some new cognitive distortions. That meditation part was so tough.
Yeah, I'm still sad. I'm still regretful about Princess. I think I'll always be. My not being mindful is what killed her. Every time I think about it, I just know I'm a terrible person who messes everything up. But I think the awareness helps.
It does. Then please tell me what cognitive distortion you just exemplified. Was it emotional reasoning, overgeneralization, or personalization?
Wait, what did he say? Is there some kind of log?
I guess it was kind of all of them.
Masterful deduction, Samuel.
It
Your
was
sense
just a
of
guess.
awareness is most impressive. Remember, cognitive distortions are not a cudgel to beat yourself with.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. If we're spouting cognitive distortions all the time, ain't my clients gonna be mad at my constantly interrupting them?
You continue to impress. Yes, we cannot bully our clients with distortions. Thus, I find it is best to clear our minds and focus on a few during each session. Keeping endless distortions in mind is not easy for a therapist either, after all. I think we have done excellent work tonight, and I'm certain you've built up a thirst. I know this evening was emotionally intense. Ask Crimson for some scotch.
Scotch. Vampires can drink scotch. Well, they could drink that weird blood herbal tea, but...
Drinking booze ain't exactly compatible with our biology, Andy.
By scotch, I mean Scottish blood. It's iron rich and quite delicious. I age it in whiskey barrels.
Ew! Imagine a whiskey barrel full of old blood. That sounds really disgusting.
That sounds pretty nice. I might just do that and call it an early night.
As you wish, Samuel. Rest well, and do not lasso yourself so tightly as you say. You are deserving of love, especially from yourself.
In your lonely coffin.
I'm just gonna leave before I get more embarrassed.
Very well, Samuel. Rest in peace, my friend. Samuel, greetings. You are seeing Dr. Drain again tonight, yes?
It's going to be Dr. Drain again. The one who made his own synthetic blood and got addicted. What? What? I had a great weekend. I really needed to get out in the nature again. I saw a whole bunch of funny birds. I never saw back home and just enjoyed staying out under the stars. When I did run into models, they didn't speak a lot of English, but they could definitely do the accent. I guess they think all Americans sound like me. I couldn't get too close to them, though, so I had to live on a local wildlife blood. I drank from a boar. Not bad, but could have done without the bristles. I'm back in Leipzig now. Just learned 3 more cognitive distortions. I think I'm getting the hang of this thing. It was time skip.
That's right. I'm keen to see how he's getting on. That fella's got himself wrapped up real tight.
Do not expect too much change too quickly. It takes a while for our thoughts to internalize, even when we know the truth of them logically.
Yes.
It took me only 2,800 years or so to internalize what I needed.
I don't think the doc's gonna be too keen to wait that long.
I do not think he will have to. Unlike myself, he has you to guide him.
Oh gosh, I barely know what I'm doing, boss. I'm not sure I can keep track of all these new distortions I know about.
I do not expect you to. We humans are distortion machines, my friend. But let us ensure we address Dr. Drain's core distortion. You know what it is, don't you?
I think it was disqualifying the positive.
It's disqualifying the positive, ain't it?
Dr. Drain does indeed exhibit this cognitive distortion, as we all do. But there is a distortion that truly drives his decision-making. I think you can tell me what it is.
Should?
That fella's a should statement machine, I'll tell you what.
That's right. We can be certain he will carry this distortion with him, but I would like you to pick the rest to keep in mind, Samuel.
It's been 2 weeks since I dealt with him last, so... What do we remember about him?
Up until this point, you have addressed client distortions in small cluster, but now that you are aware of more cognitive distortions, you will notice that we must not use cognitive distortions as weapons to beat our clients with. So pick 4 more to keep in mind during your session.
But what do I do if I detect he's showing the distortions I'm putting aside?
You do not need to address all of them, my friend. You will not catch every distortion, and if you did, I believe your clients would find you irritating. I do not alert you to half of your cognitive distortions. We know that Dr. Drain will exhibit should statements. What else do you think he will come to this session with?
What else? Which one to pick? Let's take that and see if he has any.
I think I've got what I need now.
But let's check Dr. Train if we can find him. Clients. Dr. Train is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. He has been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. Is now concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Suggestion: detected strong irritability on the phone. Investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits. Session 1. Dr. Drain is addicted to a plasma that makes him black out and do things he dislikes doing. He likes a logical approach. He doesn't sleep. Irritable, maybe because he's not sleeping. Loves should statements and maybe a fair amount of disqualifying the positive. Obsessed with work. Doesn't seem to like vampires. Next time I should figure out what the heck this plasma stuff actually does. It sounded like it makes him party.
Very good, Samuel. I will leave you to it. Have confidence. It is well earned.
I guess I just gotta believe you. All right, Andy, I'll do my best.
I know you will. I will see you after your session.
I think
Bye,
I'm
Andy.
ready. And here comes the man himself. Dr. Drain, good to see you again.
The bat himself.
Yes, well, I wish I could say the same. I have not had the most productive month. Back on this productive wagon, huh? Last time we were talking about all them should statements. Yes, exactly. And what a waste of time that was. I took what we spoke about to heart, you know, like a fool.
Yeah, I believe you took it to heart like a fool.
But the should statements, as you so tritely put them, were the only thing holding me together. You ignored the addiction problem I came to you with. Nay, worse, you told me it was fine. And oh, how eager I was to test that theory. I have partaken of my awful plasma almost every night. I am more monster than man now.
What is this red miasma?
Sounds to me like we could be having a fruitful conversation about moderation. I have a better idea. Seeing as you do not understand the gravity of the situation, I will make you understand. This is the plasma I've spoken of. Pure vampiric essence. I will show you how should statements are the remnants of our humanity. We should not be so quick to cast them away.
I will show you should statements are the remnants of our humanity. We should not be so quick to cast them away.
I agree with you that should statements are human, but that don't make them universal. That's the point I'm trying to make. There's lots of ways to live, Doc. That is exactly the problem, Sam. We don't live. And this is the result most dire. Witness the wages of our sin. Now hold on a sec, Doc. I think we better... The time for caution is over. Goodbye, Sam.
What?
What in hell?
He turned into a different vampire. I guess he just took his own plasma. What the? This is a completely different vampire.
Does it feel good to be alive? And who are you, darling?
Lord Lurider. What the?
I'm Sam. I'm your therapist, Doc. You know that. My therapist! Oh, how wonderful. How absolutely pathetic. A vampire therapist. Oh, what a sad, pathetic waste you are, Dr. Drain.
This patient is madder than I expected.
Allow me to introduce myself, then. I am am Lord Lurider, and unlike that sad sack of quivering shit you've been talking to, I am a vampire. I kill, I drink, I fuck, and I'm dead sexy.
This is the is the crazy house open than this one? I wish it was.
Weren't you wearing glasses before? I don't need glasses. Reading is what people do when they can't find anyone to fuck. Which is not a problem I face.
Is that so?
Oh, you're missing out, fella. I got into reading after I died, and there's whole worlds to discover in books. Oh, you're so fucking boring. There's a whole world to discover up my ass as well.
Is there?
Well, you don't have to be so crass. Yes, I see it in your eyes. You're afraid, aren't you, American? Your Puritan blood chills at the sight of me. Maybe I'll warm it up before I drain it from you and turn you into a husk with a stupid hat. I wouldn't try it. I'm not you, though, am I? And I am always hungry. I suggest you stay right where you are. A vampire with a gun. Oh, how our kind have fallen. What are you going to do, cowboy? Kill me? Nope, but I can make sure the next few months ain't fun for you. Oh, how very kind of you to care about me, darling. It'll be our dear Dr. Drain who suffers. But I need the little worm for now, so I suppose I'll let you live. Mighty kind of you. Now you just settle on down and we're gonna have a chat. Ugh, talking. We are animals. We are not meant for talking. But very well. At least give me something to drink. I can rely on your piteous human blood to do me that kindness, yes? All right, but I'm watching you, hombre. Look all you like. The show is free. This is better than the swill I usually prefer. I'm more of a quantity over quality sort of creature. Yeah, I know your kind. I used to be a lot like you. And I suppose now you are just as repressed as the sad creature that exerts control over this luscious body of mine.
Luscious.
I'm more free than I've ever been, but don't you worry about me. Let's talk about you. You're going to psychoanalyze me? I live according to my nature. You might as well interview a lion. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm sure you are the way you are for a reason. You're not wrong about that. You know the answer already. Dr. Drain needs me. I am what is missing in his unlife.
Which one is it? What was personalization? Need to check it again. Things happen because of us. Heck of a little. That's why we get tempted. Or control fallacy. Ah, it was there. Feeling responsibility or sole control of feeling completely hopeless. Which one is it? Damn. Mhm.
You think this is all about you, but you're damn wrong. It's about Dr. Drain. Please. The man could die. Has died. And it hasn't made a damn bit of difference to anyone. Without me, he barely even has an existence. Poor fool. His penis was nearly mummified when I got hold of it. Okay, that's gross and also wrong. Dr. Drain existed long before you did. If you call that an existence, I am his hidden strength. I am his true essence. He is nothing without me, which he already realizes.
Is it this again? No.
Lord Lurider seems to believe Dr. Drain is a completely insignificant part of his existence. Is this true, Samuel?
I am his hidden strength.
Is it control fallacy then?
His true essence. He is
No.
Lord Lurider seems to believe Dr. Drain is a completely insignificant part of his...
I am his hidden strength. I am his true essence. You're forgetting something. A lot of who you are is because of Dr. Drain. You know that fella denies himself a lot, and you do all them things he refrains from. Besides, didn't he make that plasma you sprung from? Do you know, you're absolutely correct. Very well. I'll give the little twerp his credit. He did bring me into existence, and what a wonderful existence it is. Were you aware that vampires possess absolutely no gag reflex? I can prove it. I don't mess with my clients. But I'm not your client. That little old man in tweed is. Of course he would deny himself the pleasure.
Of course he would. And as he should. And this is not a shit statement.
You hear him talk about what he should do, but the sad creature cannot do those things. He should give in to me, and thanks to you, he has begun to. Come on now, you're really countering his shoulds with your shoulds? I think that proves there ain't no such thing as a should everyone agrees on. But my shoulds are so much more entertaining. His have only bred him hundreds of years of pathetic existence.
What is this? Well, it's a mystery. With mystic bastards.
Well, that don't make a damn bit of difference. I bet there are vampires a hell of a lot more depraved than you who think you should be doing things differently. Really? Oh, you must introduce me. If there are holes I don't know about, I should very much like to know where they are. How old are you anyway? Dr. Drain's been summoning me for 14 years now.
Already 14 years.
Oh, things are starting to make a lot more sense. You certainly sound like a 14-year-old. The transformation has already begun. I will subsume him. His body and his mind will belong to me completely, and Dr. Drain will cease to be.
Is this control fallacy?
You're awful confident about that, but I got bad news for you. You don't control Dr. Drain, he controls you. Oh, darling. The little doctor controls nothing at all, least of all himself. Make no mistake, he shall be mine.
You're the same person.
Oh yeah, and how do you know that? I know the little wretch far better than you do. He hasn't changed in centuries. Was he in therapy then? No, only in the modern age do we make do with such delusional exercises. So not everything he does is predictable. I don't think you got a good reason to be so confident. Are you trying to fill my head with doubts? Do you even think that such a thing is possible? There is no such thing as doubt for beings such as we. We live or we die. That's all. And I will live.
But you're dead.
I notice a funny way you and Dr. Drain talk about each other, as though you're totally different people. You really think that's true? Have you spoken with our pathetic little doctor? You know, he doesn't drink real blood. That's why he's so weak. Hold on, how's he even alive if he's not drinking blood? Oh, the little ball of shame didn't tell you. He's not even a vampire. He drinks that synthetic trash he produces instead of real blood.
Hmm. But what is this? This is so hard. I don't know. Personalization is everything happens because of you. Overgeneralization. Because one happening, everything is like that. Disqualifying the positive. Maybe.
You can't just discount everything about Dr. Drain just because he doesn't drink fresh blood. The guy's managed to live for 430 years. He's got to be doing something right. Besides, let's say you get your wish and everyone just becomes vampire food. Where are you gonna get blood when everyone's dead? Well, you raise a valid point. Perhaps I'll start a mortal farm. Yes, that's it. They'll walk on all fours and be completely naked at all times.
Sounds like a 14-year-old. 14-year-old again.
I'll milk them each day and raise stud mortals. Oh, this has possibilities. Why, thank you, darling. Brilliance can come from such unlikely places. Dang, I wish I hadn't mentioned it. Why so shy, darling? You must have more experience than the dear doctor. I wouldn't be surprised if you were a 400-year-old virgin. If it weren't for me, his cock would have shriveled up like a raisin. I think I'm gonna surprise you, Lord, whatever you're calling yourself, but I think you're right. Dr. Drain does need you. But like it or not, you need him too. How very bloody dare you. What possible use could I have for a little turd like him? I am an animal, pure and perfect. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Vampires ain't animals, not even the worst of us. The moment we learned to talk and reason, living like beasts was out the window. What a strange creature you are. You dress like a buffoon, but speak like a philosopher. The buffoon is the more admirable of the two. At least he's honest. You and Dr. Drain lie and lie and lie to justify your existence. It's ridiculous to suggest that I need him. What could I possibly need him for? When I tire, I sleep. When I lust, I fuck. When I thirst, I kill. As it should be.
Should.
There it is again, that simple thinking and them shoulds that are only yours. Come the hell on. You think we vampires should just go on autopilot? Fuck, sleep, kill, repeat? Well, naturally, we should ensure that those things are fun. Otherwise, what's the point in doing them?
We should.
That's it right there. I agree with you entirely. About time. I'll remove my clothing. Or perhaps I'll remove yours. Not so fast. You're missing the point. If we're doing these things because they're fun, well, everybody's got their own idea of fun. That's our human experience at work. Like me, for instance. I'm more of a high intimacy kind of lover. Oh, boff. You managed to make even delightful things seem so heinous. I'm only speaking the truth. What makes you so damn sure you know what being a vampire is anyway? Why do you think you've got it all figured out? Lie to yourself all you like, darling. We're all alike. I know what you crave.
Is that overgeneralization?
There's loads of us vampires out there, all with different experiences. You really think we're all the same? We are animals, darling. Like all depraved animals, we exist to ensure we continue to exist. If we do not, we embrace oblivion. Well, that's a heck of a jump. We ain't powerless against our baser instincts, far from it. We can be better people. We can live in harmony with others.
It is utterly pointless to fight our natures. Oh, that poor mortal had a family. Who gives a damn? I'm thirsty. That poor mortal must consume in order to live, and so must I. He simply pretends not to enjoy it. I don't need to do any such thing. I love to kill. I love the taste of blood. Why would I love it if it weren't the only way to live?
Point is, you're gonna get real fucking bored if you don't find a reason to do what you're doing.
Do you think I need a purpose? That's a mortal concern. I don't need a fucking legacy. I need blood. The only thing I should do is what I was made to do.
You're just as bad as Dr. Drain with all them should statements. He keeps talking about what he shouldn't do, and you keep talking about what you should do. You both act so damn sure of yourselves. You're so damn sure blood is all you need.
Oh, did I forget to mention all the fucking?
No, but hombre, you live forever. Food and sex is enough for animals. They got short lives. They get threatened and they die real quick. I know a lot of vampires who live like animals, and every single one of them is lost. Like him or not, Dr. Drain is your reason for living. Hell, if he didn't make this plasma stuff, you'd still be buried deep somewhere in his head.
Fuck you. Dr. Drain is a pathetic little liar, and I will destroy him. That's what he wants. Then I'll come for you.
If you're gonna kill me, you'd better be a quicker draw than I am. You wanna try your luck, compadre?
No need. I do thirst, though, and I smell something downstairs. I smell mortals and virgins. Oh, how delicious. You've been holding out on me, cowboy.
Virgins.
You can drink what's in that bottle till Dr. Drain comes back. I ain't letting the likes of you near them people.
At least you're aware enough to know that I am a ravenous beast. And beast that I am, I must kill.
Do you now?
You will do no such thing to my mortals. Restrain yourself.
Oh, now who is this beautiful morsel?
I agree, he is beautiful.
I am far older than any blood you have ever tasted, whelp. Do not dare to think you can overpower me.
Don't threaten me with a good time, daddy.
I will keep this poor animal contained, Sam. You did excellent work in handling him. Deserve some rest. I will meet with you later.
If you're sure.
Do not worry. I have no need to hurt him.
Well, now I'm just disappointed.
All right, Andy. I'll talk to you later. And Lord Lurider, or whatever your name is, think about what we talked about, huh? Dr. Drain's got something you need.
Oh, Vom, get out of here already.
Get out so you can have Andromagos to yourself.
Not you two.
I got achievement for surviving Lord Luridus' session.
Barely walked out of that one alive. And I thought therapy was just talking.
What's that? Session 2. Dr. Drain transformed into Lord Luridus during our session today. That dude has got some issues. Luridus hates Dr. Drain, and Drain hates him. Luridus loves what Drain rejects, blood and sex. Luridus believes in acting like our animal selves without apology. Where Drain is scientific, Luridus is unscientific. Luridus is extremely confident. I gotta talk to Dr. Drain about where this Lord Luridus comes from and see if I can't get these two fellas speaking the same language.
I could use a drink.
If it isn't the Lone Ranger.
What?
Hey, Crimson.
You look a little down, cowboy. Have a shot.
I don't mind if I do.
Rough one tonight.
Quite rough one.
You could say that. My client went a little feral. Tried to attack me.
That ain't good. I hope you booted their ass out.
Well, here's the thing. He wasn't himself. The fella, he can't stand being a vampire, so the vampire comes out in nasty ways.
Some unique therapy. It sure is. But vampires need unique therapy.
Don't put yourself into too much danger, cowboy. Cleaning up a pile of ashes isn't my idea of a good night.
You have some experience, Crimson?
So what? He just went and turned into a monster?
More or less. Went from a restrained fella to a hedonist beast.
How do you think you handled it?
Always well.
I think I did all right. I learned a whole bunch of cognitive distortions now, so I was still able to challenge the beast. Well, the way I figure it, he's still desperate for help, even if he doesn't act like it.
I can see why Andy likes you. A heart's still beating in there.
I'm a creature of the night, too. I just want to help my kid.
People like talking to you, cowboy. They can't help sharing their lives with you. Whatever it is about you, folks are always going to prefer talking to you over killing you.
I surely do hope you're right.
You know my big secret already. I wouldn't have told it to you if I didn't believe in you.
Her cancer.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Crimson. I'm humbled.
Quit it with the aw shucks stuff. Now you're just trying to be cute.
And making success visit.
It's those Europeans. And stretch time. And it's about half point of this stream, I guess. Stretch. Oh. I should go swimming again tomorrow, I think.
Oh, hey, it's my little buddies. How's it going, kids?
Your blood buddies.
Bad.
What's wrong, Maxie?
I'm sorry to hear that, Maxie. What's going on?
Make some room, Kinder. I've got customers to serve. Go talk in the kink room.
Would you like to chat in the kink room, Maxie?
I would like that very much.
So what's going on, Maxie?
My boss yelled at me today and made me sad.
How mean?
Well, what happened?
Someone injected a malicious SQL query into our API and used it to execute code. We did not have our queries parameterized, so they were able to drop the user table entirely.
Oh no.
I warned the backend developers that this would happen, but I got all of the blame.
That sounds like a real mess, Maxie. Reminds me of the time I forgot to lock the gate on a cattle drive. By morning, every last cow was gone, just like your, user table thing. Maybe your boss was hopping mad, but I bet next time they'll listen to you.
Am I the only one who is now aroused?
Yes.
No, Reinhardt, I am also aroused.
No.
Okay, get on over here and pass me some neck.
Oh no.
Leave meine Arterien alone.
Down, I missed.
Dang it, what's wrong with me tonight?
Leave meine Arterien alone.
No. Where should I?
Dang it, what's wrong with me tonight?
It's the blue ones, but
I feel as though all my worries have been sucked away.
I guess I got it.
I'm well acquainted with this feeling, Hazi.
And you will be once more.
I think that's my cue to get to my coffin.
You scared the American away, Maxie.
I suppose I am a very bad girl.
All right, I'm out. Bedtime for Sam. See you kids later.
Those kids.
Samuel, greetings.
Checkpoint.
Oh, hey, Andy.
Why so sad, Sam?
What is wrong, my friend? You don't seem your chipper American self.
Cheaper American self.
I guess I ain't too happy to be seeing tonight's client. I'm still feeling the tongue lashing she gave me last time.
Oh, it's the not Italian lady.
Ah, yes, the Signora d'Este. She certainly has a way with words.
It ain't that. It's just this Sansa git. Like she thinks I can be a certain way just 'cause she tells me to.
Aha. At least that makes her core distortion clear, doesn't it? You know what it is, of course.
That lady's got control fallacies out the wazoo, and they've given her centuries of stress.
I do not know this term, wazoo, but you are correct. The woman who chooses immortality so that she can ensure her family makes the correct decisions probably has some control issues.
Yes.
And taking out her stress on me.
Do not take her criticisms too much to heart, my friend. You are simply a convenient target, an element within her control.
That still don't make it much fun.
I will not deny that Signora d'Este is a confrontational client, but take her presence as a gift, however you can.
Her presence is a gift to us all.
A woman so powerful in her time has much to teach us.
Every time that I feel I understand what's happening in the game, can just another curveball and I go, what? It has therapy sessions. This Andromachos is our teacher, kind of, and also our therapist. And we are Sam. And, well, Sam is a vampire. He needs blood. Every day. Well, every night. And those European vampires there were not vampires, but humans. And, well, there's going to be a next therapy session now.
You have all the tools you need at your disposal to help her. Consider your approach.
So, she had a lot of control fallacies. Yes. What else? I think she had a lot of should statements. And labeling. What else should we take? Should. How about overgeneralization and personalization?
Alright, I think I'm ready.
Let's read up on the lady. Client notes. It is this lady next. Isabella d'Este was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background, but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she is undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and unlife have both been meaningless. Suggestion: be exceedingly polite. Yes, she demands politeness. Isabella d'Este thinks her life was meaningless because modern art is meaningless too. Apparently this Rise of the Spacewalker movie set her off. Extremely high-minded, major issues with her former husband, thinks most people are corrupt, especially menfolk. Used to be a devout Catholic, not so much anymore. Likes to be in control, maybe a lot of control fallacies. Next time I'll dig into the family stuff. Seems like there's a lot of anger there.
I will leave you to meditate then. Be well, Samuel, and let this 3,000-year-old tell you, you are a fantastic therapist.
Oh, Andy. So kind.
Oh gosh, you're gonna make me blush. Get on out of here, boss. I can handle this.
I know you can.
Now I think I'm ready. And here she comes. A deep breath.
He has to remember to say Signora. Signora.
Now, howdy, Senora. Nice to see you again.
Liar. You are as pleased to see me as I am to see you, therapist.
We're gonna get straight into it, huh? All right, lay it on me. Why ain't you happy to see me?
Because you are a worm.
No, he's not a worm.
Yeah, I've been called a lot worse. You're gonna need to be more specific than that, Senora.
You are a worm because of the way you wriggled into my mind the last time we spoke, leaving behind loathsome doubts.
And she already had some doubts. So it's more horrible to have more of them.
The only reason I am here is to confront you for your beastly behavior.
Beastly behavior.
I come to you in crisis, and you suggest that I am the cause of my own woe. Aren't you supposed to help me?
Senora, you came in here telling me that Art is dead. How am I supposed to help you with that?
I don't know. But telling me that my existence has been a complete waste of time is not comforting.
I definitely don't remember saying that, Senora. What I said is that you ain't gonna change the world for anyone. But that doesn't mean your work wasn't worth anything. That's what I call...
What did he say? Was that Nosferatu thinking?
Nosferatu thinking. Remember what we talked about? There's always gonna be people who want Space Wars, and there's always gonna be people who want Michelangelo.
Michelangelo? Who is Michelangelo?
The guy what painted the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo.
Michelangelo did no such thing. Perhaps you are thinking of a man from New Jersey, or a turtle. It is Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Senora, you want to talk about wasting time? What's using me as a punching bag doing for you?
Very well. I will speak plainly. I am angry with you, Mr. Walls. Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time, effort, and pain, but to think that much of it was. This is most horrifying.
What is this? What is this? Perhaps not all I did was wasted time, effort and pain, but to think that much of it was. I think it kind of is overgeneralization, even though she says that not all, but still.
Listen carefully, Sam. It is not only truth that harms the Senora, but also the way she perceives truth.
Truth. The way she perceives truth, but...
Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time, effort,
Waste of
and
time.
pain, but to think that much of it was. This is most horrifying.
Know what labeling?
Maybe it'd help if we looked at that wording you used. A waste of time, effort, and pain.
Alright, it's labeling.
Even if you didn't achieve your goals in them efforts, you can't just say they were a waste of time. Now, if you were sitting in bed for 400 years watching bad TV, then I might agree with you.
A disgusting notion. I am already dead. I do not need my mind to actively decompose by watching Batflix's latest trash.
She knows about bad flicks. Maybe all vampires do.
So maybe let's reserve waste of time for trash, huh? I can see why it'd be upsetting to see something you put a lot of effort into not work out.
It is more than upsetting. It is devastating. I did not just fail to bring the understanding of true beauty into the world, I failed to bring it to my own familia.
Oh no. She failed to bring the understanding of true beauty into the world. What a failure she is.
I watched them die, Mr. Walls. It was not the physical death that caused me the greatest pain, but the spiritual death.
What do you mean by that?
They had no care for the Gonzaga name nor the Deste name. Despite my sacrifice and all my efforts, they pissed away my legacy.
Of course they did. They are their own persons.
Oh boy, sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
It is a dark and painful story, Mr. Walls. A story where my greatest joy turns to ash, and I was powerless to stop it.
Oh no.
When last we met, did I tell you about my son?
Did she? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Federico. Ah, my dear Federico, my little clown, my delicate artist, my beautiful boy.
Oh, Federico.
I suffered for him, Mr. Walls. I put up with my husband, Frankie, and all his brutishness, all his licentiousness.
All for Federico.
I raised him to be intelligent and clever, to understand the gentle arts and philosophy. I raised him to be a deste. But for all my efforts, I could not cool his Gonzaga blood, and it persisted for a century, to the ruin of our house.
I hate to break it to you, senor, but every kid's got two parents, whether they know them or not. And kids have got minds of their own.
Yes.
I refuse to believe that we are trapped by our blood. What was my destiny as a girl? Men of my time said it was to be servile and docile, a political pawn. What saved me from that fate? Knowledge, study, an appreciation of art, music, history, and literature.
And becoming a vampire.
In the same way, I should
Should
have been
have
able to save my son.
Why do you think you should have been able to save your son?
I was his mother. If I did not save him, who could?
He should save himself.
I'm not saying someone else could. I'm saying that responsibility to save your son, that you should save him, doesn't line up with the truth. It ain't some kind of destiny for one person to save another.
Clearly, it was not my destiny to save my son. But my failure did not end with my darling Federico. I was only 153 when the once great Gonzaga house surrendered all its honor to the hated Spanish.
To the Spanish! How could they?
I stood by, useless as a statue, as the Gonzaga name burned in the war of the Mantuan succession.
Remind me to follow London. Why did you give up with it? Give up it? Why did you give it up? The doodle.
What's this War of the Mantuan Succession all about?
Do you know nothing of history at all?
Nope.
Oh, very well. It all began because my fool of a great-great-grandson, Vincenzo II, did not listen to me. Instead of dutifully procreating with his wife, he decided to impregnate mistresses. When he ate himself into the grave, the line of succession was broken, and the French and Spanish swarmed upon my home like cockroaches.
Oh no. I've downgraded my Fallout 4, but that is just too much effort. So... Is it just to do normal Fallout 4 with lots of mods? Also, it's like, if you want to do Fallout London, you can't use all the mods you would like to use with it, or...
I killed a great many of them myself, but it was not enough. Eventually, the Gonzaga lands were given away to both countries. Of course, this is common knowledge. I would have had your tutors beaten.
Common knowledge.
Senora, the only tutors I ever had showed up after eating a can of baked beans.
Fallout London doesn't work on the newest version. Oh. Damn.
Disgusting.
The hated Spanish? You say that like everyone hates the Spanish.
Must I mince words with my therapist? Naturally, I do not include the Spanish among those who hate the Spanish.
I don't hate the Spanish. I've known plenty of fine Spaniards.
I doubt you know much about fine company, but your pedantic point stands. Not all hate the Spanish. Very well. From now on,
Yes,
I
you
shall
should.
say the Spanish, who are hated by myself and sensible persons.
Oh, we can talk more about the Spanish later. So wait, there's a whole ass war going on and you're supposed to stop it? How's that work?
I gave up my humanity to guide my familia through the ages. If I could not do that, what was the point of becoming undead?
What is this? Give up humanity to guide your familia through the ages. What was the point of becoming undead? Control fallacy or personalization? Maybe. Maybe. No.
The Senora has put a lot of pressure on herself and dire consequences for failure. Would you not say, Samuel?
Yes. So is it control fallacy?
I gave up my
Senor, being a vampire gives us a lot of powers, but it doesn't give us the power to control a
Oh.
single human being,
So
let alone a whole
that's...
dynasty of them. When the heck have we ever listened to our betters? I ain't no historian, but I know enough to know people are liable to making the same mistakes over and over again. Humans have got that whole pesky free will thing that makes them do dumb things.
Perhaps you are correct. Stupidity is inevitable. I understand what you are trying to do, Mr. Walls.
What am I trying to do, Senora?
You are trying to tell me that I've been living a lie for more than 400 years.
I ain't doing anything like that, Senora.
Do not fret, peasant. We are in agreement. I have been living a lie. We all have.
We all have.
As I told you last time, I know my own foolishness. But time has not made my mortal concerns fade. In my mind, I know that virtue, love, chastity, wisdom, honor, these kinds of words were created by men to make us supplicant.
It's all men's fault.
But, fool that I am, I still love the idea of virtue. I have loved it ever since I was a child.
Labeling.
It ain't foolish to have ideals, Senora. Wanting to better ourselves is maybe the thing that makes us human.
Perhaps, but whose better do we strive toward? That I follow the better of old perverts is what makes me foolish.
Senora, people have been following the ideals of old perverts for thousands of years. Why are you a fool?
Do not mistake, Mr. Walls. We are all fools.
Yes, that fixes everything.
Oh, well, that's better then.
Mind your tone. I will tolerate a fool, but not an impertinent one. As I was saying, my folly was to fall in love with these ideals as a child. I used to love all the tales of Roman mythology. I saw myself in all the goddesses. I saw my strength and chastity in Diana. In Minerva, my wisdom. In Venus, I saw my timeless beauty and romantic nature.
Oh, that's a new face. A new face.
Romantic nature.
Romantic nature, what a wretched parrot I hear. Do not look at me so. Yes, I was a romantic. Until reality came crashing down upon me.
I know she's a bitter old lady.
Look at this painting I had commissioned.
What am I looking at? I don't know much about art.
The figures standing upon the arch are Venus and Mars. Mars is portrayed by my idiot husband Frankie. Beside him, I stand as Venus.
Oh my.
Oh, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be.
You may appreciate my beauty, peasant, but do not let your eyes linger upon my once supple body for long. This is art, not pornography. But look closer and you will see that even this art is a lie. This is the dream of a foolish girl.
Yes, porn is forbidden.
To be enjoined in pure romantic love with a handsome warrior. I believed so hard, Mr. Walls, that I thought I could make it true. But this handsome man is not Frankie. This is Frankie. He is not Mars, but Vulcan.
Well, he's got some abs. I'll give him that.
Yes, I did not shy from truth. But see how love's aim goes amiss and strikes his gangrenous penis rather than his heart. See the grapes behind him, for the drunkard is never far from his true love. See how he flails helplessly, as if begging a true warrior to put a sword in his belly.
I'm sensing we've got some work to do around your husband.
I like this lady.
Whatever gave you that impression? The man was created solely to crush my view of the world and my place in it. Naturally, I might have some issues around him.
Was created solely for her. Is this finally personalization?
Senora, whatever problems your husband had, they were problems he had before he even heard of you. Anyone he could have married would have had the exact same problems with him. Ain't nothing to do with you.
Yes, you are indeed correct. One cannot blame a boar for being a boar, even if you dress him up as a man. It would have been better for all if he had married a sow.
At least everyone's expectations will be lined up, huh?
Quite so, Mr. Walls. I now believe that Frankie was the truest man I ever met. That is what broke my heart. I maintained the illusion that he was my Mars because that is what I needed. I was not ready to face the truth. Oh, but I knew. Even as a 15-year-old girl, I knew. But I could not accept that I was married to the legendary penetrator of Mantua. Is it any wonder that I prefer the lie of virtù? Is it any wonder that I still prefer to believe it? The problem is men. You are all weak animals who would give up your dignity for an evening in the company of Lucrezia Borgia.
Hold your horses there, Senora. I don't even know who the heck Lucretia Borgia is.
She is the inventor of twerking. All men flock to her, as I'm sure you would. They say she was blonde, but she looked like a redhead to me. You know what they say about redheads. Kissed by Lucifer.
Dang, Senora. Your overgeneralizations are building up and making you see whole groups of folks as awful. Now, I know you got your reasons for feeling the way that you do. Real personal ones. But recognize where your experience is making you narrow your thinking. I mean, Senora, I'll be straight with you, as you're a tough lady. Here's where I think it's coming from. You're comparing people to gods, including yourself, and everyone's failing that test. Frankie weren't never gonna be Mars. You weren't never gonna be Venus. You weren't born out of no shell.
And you will never be anything but a peasant.
Heck, Senora, I'll be as surprised as anyone if I get invited to a high society dinner. I can tell I'm hitting a sore spot, but maybe that means that's what we've got to focus on.
I do not like you, Sam Walls. But you are correct. I betray my own purity of spirit with my anger. But I say, why should we not aim to be
Should.
like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
Senora, humanity is all we got. Even if we're immortal, every word we're speaking is a result of our humanity. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes, and some of us sound like peasants. But all that messiness is worth something. It makes us who we are. Senora, I don't think you're a goddess. I think you're way more interesting and impressive, because you're real.
Well, you have great wisdom for a peasant, Sam. And your kerchief is a fetching shade of red that matches your eyes.
Flattery works for her pretty well.
Well, thanks, Senora. Let's focus on you, though. What happens if you're not that perfect goddess?
I suppose I have always felt that if I could not live to my ideals, I would be left with nothing. I would be discarded like Frankie's mistresses and die of some sex disease.
Is that the Nosferatu thinking?
Oh, Mr. Walls, I know you speak the truth. I wielded great strength in an age where women were not respected. But I alone feel the weight of my family's collapse, so I feel responsible for it.
Only she could make it better.
But I was the only person capable of preserving my family, Sam. That is what makes my failure so poignant.
Senora, what if you weren't the only person capable of preserving your family? What if no one person was?
I don't know. I never considered such a thing.
Well, try to consider it now. What if you accepted that whatever was going to happen to your family was going to happen?
You sound like a Calvinist.
Never mind with the labeling for now. How would you feel if you knew nobody can control what happened to the Gonzaga house?
I think I would feel relieved.
Senora, whatever happened to your family, fault never belonged to you. You were the one who named yourself responsible. No one else did. Look at who you are. And I think you can be damned impressed at who that lady is.
Oh.
Too late, Senora. Look, let's wrap up tonight, huh? I think you did great. You probably got some stuff to think about.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. I will see you in a month.
Of course, Senora. I'm looking forward to it.
Goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye, Isabella.
Samuel, it appears you have an admirer.
Oh, shucks.
I think Isabella d'Este has liked fewer than 5 people in her hundreds of years of existence, and you are one of them.
Oh, that smile.
Remember, though, that romantic entanglements between a therapist and client are absolutely forbidden, in case you are tempted.
Well, that's just the second one that went that way.
Come on now, Andy. I ain't gonna do anything like that.
Of course, should the mind wander into fantasy, that is entirely acceptable.
Oh, you're just messing with me now.
I could not help it. It's rather cute. The First Lady of the Renaissance and humble cowboy Samuel Walls. Quite a picture, isn't it?
Okay, that's it. I'm getting a drink.
I'm sorry, Samuel. Please, drink. Ask Crimson for the Royal Virgin. It's my very best. I think you deserve it.
Yeah, whatever. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
And I thought I had family problems.
What did we get out of that? We really got into the Signora's family issues today, and there's lots of them. She's hopping mad that they didn't meet her standards. Isabella died so she could control her family. It didn't work. Her husband and son were both major disappointments to her, especially her son. She really hates the Spanish. Might be a little obsessed with her late husband's failings as a man. Signora still holding a lot of anger. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, though. Next time I'll see if I can't push a little more.
I'll need me a Crimson special after that one. Howdy, Crimson. Think you can fashion me up one of them blood cocktails?
I reckon so. Got a lot on your mind tonight, cowboy.
Yeah, just thinking about family stuff. I got this
Family
client who's got
stuff.
some real tough family issues to go through, and it got me thinking about my own. Or my lack of family, at least.
But what happened to your daughter?
You got any family left?
I've got a great granddaughter kicking around apparently, but she's got no connection to this old cowpoke. Not sure what she'd say if a man dressed like a cowboy introduced himself as her vampire relative from the 1800s.
I see your point. Sounds like you don't have many family problems then.
I reckon so. Family means a lot to my client, though. I hope my perspective's still useful.
How do you think she's handling her therapy so far?
I think she's doing pretty well, honestly. She spent a long time judging herself by her family's achievements, but I think she's starting to recognize the fruitlessness in that.
It felt like we got somewhere with that client.
Seems like you don't need her family to be able to give her some hope.
I suppose not. Rich family problems were never going to be my specialty anyway. You got family back home, Crimson?
Yeah, I've got some family. We don't talk too much. I went a little wild after I got my diagnosis. They're not too fond of my lifestyle choices, but hey, at least I'm alive. And I get to hear them gossiping about how I don't age.
Well, you chose a good age to stop getting older. I often wish I weren't such a dusty old corpse, but death comes when it comes.
Sometimes he's still waiting for me to give him an opening.
Death always is. Pardon me for asking, but is there a reason you're choosing not to be a vampire?
There is, but I'm not talking about it tonight. A little mystery makes life a bit spicier, don't you think, cowboy?
Oh, I wasn't trying to pry or nothing.
Bullshit. I know you're curious. Here, consolation prize.
But what is it?
Is it the Royal Virgin?
Black Widow.
No.
Black stuff's just food coloring. Figured you were in the mood for a scary lady tonight.
Ooh.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Think I'll take this to my coffin for a quiet night.
You do that, honey. And don't spill in Andy's coffin. He'll act like he's not mad, but you know he's mad.
Why should I be upset? What has happened has happened.
Not bad, cowboy. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, I'm going. See you later, Crimson. There we are. Gotta get me one of these fancy coffins for back home. Now, let's see. What am I in the mood for?
What is he in the mood for?
I think I'm either gonna find a passage from Little Women that suits me, or I'm gonna watch Shemp get smacked in the head with a hot iron.
Shemp? Which one to choose?
Or I'm going to bed.
I think you need to watch Shemp get his head crushed in a vise.
These guys are great.
Nothing is happening. Teacher of voice.
I see, Miss Tinklemeyer. That's the way it should be sung. Shall we try it again?
I'll try anything for you, Professor.
Oh, that's fine. If you please, Doctor. Doctor.
Oh no. And this is supposed to be funny.
is that sad?
It ain't good. You're supposed to be singing about the voices of spring, not the eruption of a volcano.
I think I am not culturally in the spot that I could enjoy this.
Give me the bed.
Pain is not funny.
Play.
Well,
That's
enough
enough.
fun for one day.
So fun, Sam. So fun.
Good night, son. See you in hell.
Samuel, greetings. I believe you are seeing our actor friend tonight, are you not?
Last client of this evening.
Yeah, I guess so. I still ain't sure I'm the right therapist for that fella.
Oh, he did the gaslighting thing.
There may not be a right therapist for him, but let us think positively. He has put himself in your care, and that is a tremendous step.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking it's gonna be an uphill battle, though.
At least his core distortion is clear, don't you think? You know what it is, I am sure.
It's... What is it? Can we check his profile? It is this one, Edmund Kean. Edmund Kean was a highly influential Shakespearean stage actor during the Georgian period. He's credited more personal interpretations of character as opposed to pantomime performances. He lived a tumultuous life on stage, dealing with alcoholism, sex scandals, and entitled behavior. He wishes to return to the stage, but expresses great anger at critics who might review him poorly. He demands respect as the greatest actor the world has ever seen. Edmund is afraid to get back into acting because he's afraid of getting anything but universal praise. Self-centered mindset. Believes he determines what acting must be. He diminishes the thoughts and opinions of others. Champion gaslighter tried to convince me I was attacking him. She's the world through theater. Next time I'd like to dig in on where all this comes from. Why is this fella so insecure? I think it's personalization.
It's personalization, right?
Of course, a distortion common to many with narcissistic tendencies.
Yep, it's the Edmund Kean show, all day, every day.
I recognize your disdain, but pause a moment. It must be difficult for Edmund to make everything all about him all the time, don't you think?
He doesn't have to make everything about him, though.
He doesn't know that. Keep digging, Samuel. Choose your distortions well.
How to choose them well? Let's take that and control fallacy and what else? We haven't had emotional reasoning. How about something familiar like one of these? Disqualifying the positive.
I think I'm all holstered up now.
Very good, Samuel. I wish you patience and compassion.
Those are what we need.
See you later, Andy. All right, now what did Andy teach me? Breathe. I think I'm ready. Right on time. I think I hear him coming. Hey, Edmund, good to see you. How you been feeling these past few weeks?
Empty, my dear boy. Empty. I am but a vessel made for a single purpose. But alas, and alack, that purpose is in supply most rare.
You mean acting, right?
Aye, that's the right acting, my dear boy. Acting. My thespian blood goes rancid with stagnation, and the only cure seems to me irreprehensible now. I do not wish to face these mortal directors, for they dare to tell me my art.
Ain't that what directors are supposed to do?
Oh, my dear boy. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them. No director can thrust greatness upon the already great. In mine own case, mine greatness hath already been achieved.
No.
Well, maybe you can help me understand a little better. You said that greatness was thrust upon you, right? How did that happen?
Ah, you are curious to hear what circumstances created this actor non pare. I cannot blame you. Well, recounting such a history will please me indeed. I first rattled the foundations of the stage as a mere babe. Indeed, too young for memory, and yet old enough to command attention.
Like all babies.
Clad only in swaddling cloth at the age of 4, I was Cupid himself. But my arrows seemingly went astray, for the entirety of the audience fell in love with me. It is the stuff of legend. For tender as my mind was, I could not bear witness to my own greatness. But it does prove that I was indeed born great.
But you said greatness was
So
thrust
great.
upon you.
It was a matter of necessity. You may not guess it from my gentle speech, but I am no lordling. Selfishly, and surely to spite me, my father shuffled off his mortal coil when I was but a babe in arms, ere I ever graced the stage. It left my mother and myself in dire straits.
Father shuffled off his model coil. Left my mother and myself in dire straits. Surely to spite him. Is it this?
Hold on a sec. You said your old man died
It's
selfishly.
personal.
What do you mean?
Well, what kind of a father drinks himself to death when he has a beautiful baby son at home?
Surely not the only father who has done that.
I at least waited until my son was older before I did the same.
No.
Eddie, come on. Listen to yourself. I'm sure you didn't die to spite your son, just as your pa didn't die to spite you. I ain't gonna deny his choices hurt you, but they weren't all about you.
Forgive me then. 'Tis ever the fate of an actor to feel every emotion more keenly. The situation my mother and I were left in was most precarious. We were the lowest of the low, you see. We lived in the rookeries and begged for our bread. But he that hath wit must make content with his fortune's fit. And oh, did we beg. She was my Queen Gertrude, and I her filthy little Hamlet. Did I mention I played Hamlet at age 14?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Well, anyway, my mother was a competent actress, but it was my wit alone that saved us from destitution.
You're with alone. Is that control fallacy or personalization? It's
Edmund is
personalization.
discounting his mother's contribution to his survival almost entirely.
Yes, he is.
Well,
So,
anyway,
Edmund is discounting his mother's contribution to his survival.
well, anyway, my mother was a competent actress.
so
but
what
it was
is
my
it?
wit alone that saved us from destitution.
Emotional reasoning disqualifying the positive. Nope.
Edmund is discounting his mother's contribution.
Well,
It sounds like your mother did a lot for you. I'm sure the people
I
loved
see.
you, but could you have done it alone?
I suppose my dramaturgical purpose would have been lost without a scene partner. But it was I whom the throngs came to see.
I ain't saying that ain't the case, but you might be disqualifying your mother's contribution to your greatness, right?
I don't see how that is relevant. But I suppose so. Let me continue unabated, sir. Forsooth, I was so prodigious that, at the age of 7, I garnered the attention of one Reginald Flopbot of the Worthington Flopbots.
But the thing is, the things you achieve as a child, a lot of them depend on your parents.
'Twas he who paid to get me off the streets and into the dormitories. He said, "Edmund, my cherub, the streets are not for you. One day you will be the greatest of actors."
Hey, how about that? You went and proved him right.
Piffle. Master Flopbot never gave a fig about my potential. I was a prop to him, a symbol of his generosity and high breeding. Every month he would stage an elaborate party with all the well-to-do society of London. The dandy fop would stand upon a dais and announce himself as the saviour of the city's poor. That was my cue. would be lowered down from the rooftop, wearing naught but swaddling clothes and a set of opulent wings. The gentry's delight was my dungeon. But I would flit among them, reprising my breakout role as Cupid by shooting little arrows of love at them. At the age of 7, it was most disquieting. At 11, on the cusp of manhood, the shame was too much to bear.
Dang, Eddie, that sounds awful. That flopbot fella had no right to do that to you.
No, indeed. I remember my last performance quite vividly. The titters and leering glances from the guests linger ever in the back of my mind, and fool that I was, I played my part still. I should have plunged mine arrows into that fool flopbot's chest instead of shaming myself.
There's labeling answered statement.
I swore that night to never be a puppet again. I stole away and gave myself to the mercy of Poseidon. The bargain was struck, and he swallowed up my hated swaddling clothes and wings.
What? He jumped to the ocean?
In desperation, I signed on with a mercantile shipping agency.
Ah.
I thought perhaps that my body would bend more than my soul. But oh, did I toil! Life upon the sea is most cruel. Biting winds did carve my visage. Low words hardened my heart, and heavy weights left me bent.
Oh no. He became suffering person and ugly, and
By the time I had
it was
fulfilled
horrible.
my bargain with the Lord of the Sea, I had become an older man. My efforts etched into every crease on my face.
Yeah, you couldn't play Baby Cupid anymore.
Dang, sounds intense. How long were you at this job?
An age, a life. 6 months, each one a hungry leech torn from my bleeding body. I am convinced this gauntlet was prepared for me alone. For ne'er in history has one so blessed by grace been subjected to such toil.
Eddie, I gotta stop you there. It's gonna be a lot easier to accept your truth when you realize you ain't alone in your suffering. Hell, there ain't nothing more human than suffering. And historically, kids ain't had it so good.
But none suffered as I suffered. A boy such as I was not meant for such misery.
Compadre, I had my first kill and no home at 12 years old. My brother had a stutter his whole life on account of the regular beatings my stepdaddy gave him. Maybe your suffering felt like the only suffering in the world, but it wasn't. And it'll hurt less when you realize you weren't alone. But keep telling me your story. I already know there ain't nobody like you in the world, so don't worry on that account.
Now then, at last, we close the circle, as nature ever demands. I return to London, and into the graces of my dear Uncle Moses and his comely mistress, Charlotte. 'Twas she who filled my dramaturgical quiver with dire arrows, fletched by the bard himself. And when my deft fingers plucked the bow of humanity, at last I was free.
Huh?
Indeed.
I cannot speak more plainly. The good woman taught me the works of Shakespeare, and armed with this knowledge, I conquered the stage and saved myself from toil.
Oh, well, right.
And so, you see, the die was cast from the moment I was born. The stage was made for me, and it was my skill upon it that saved me from the streets, and saved me once again from a life at sea.
Eddie, my man, I got some good news and bad news for you. The truth of the matter is, fate doesn't give a stable full of horse shit about you. Ain't none of us are that special. The world ain't waiting for us to show up. It's just gonna keep turning.
Perhaps you are right, my dear boy. You are correct. My success was not because of the fates, but in spite of them. The fates said, Edmund, you are a child of the slums. But I shamed the immortal hags in my own manner. The stage roused my spirit. Thus I knew my destiny lay upon it.
The stage roused his spirit, which means it was his destiny. Is it emotional reasoning?
You got it, amigo. You wanted the stage to be
I got
your
it.
out of the bad days. Maybe that's why you were so successful. Your intrinsic motivation made you keep pushing to be better.
'Tis so. 'Tis so. The threat of the rookeries loomed ever upon my overladen spirit. Acting presented itself as a way to keep myself out of them. It is natural that I should weigh its importance so heavily.
I can see why acting means so much to you, Eddie. I probably feel damn near the same about the things that got me out of my bad days.
Thank you. Then you understand how my alienation from the theater does pain me so. And yet, the cure is as deadly as the illness. These damnable critics! Not a single lifetime among them, and they deign to challenge my interpretation of the written word. They simply cannot relate to my singular experience. I will bare my soul upon that stage, and they will all sneer and malign it on their internet profiles.
Well... all sneer.
You're so certain that them critics are all the same, but I think that ain't being honest with yourself. Not all critics are bad. It takes work to be good at something, so of course the decent critics are gonna be rarer.
What you say rings true. Indeed, although past critics were flabbergasted at my portrayal of King Lear, not all were. And modern perspectives have affirmed that my interpretation was nothing short of brilliant.
Yeah, you get it. I took a look at your Wikipedia entry last night, Eddie. Well, maybe you've had a few bad critics here and there, but history says you're a legend, and your work speaks for itself. Hell, you were around before film was ever a thing, and people still remember you.
Ah, your words warm me, as an ersatz son for the one we have forsaken. With thy help shall I gird my shield mayhap, and grace the stage once more.
Well, let's talk about that then. What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting back up on that stage right now?
That it all simply might not be worth it. Why should I bear my damned soul when the audience hath not the sight to see it?
Maybe I can ask you a question then. What if there were no audience?
No audience? Do you know what a stage is, sir? It is a platform where life in brief may be...
No audience.
It is a platform because it is separate from the audience. Without such, the stage ceases to be a stage.
As in, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Simply but elegantly put, my dear boy. Without the audience, the stage loses all meaning.
All
like
meaning.
a monarch without a kingdom.
Without the audience, all meaning. Is it
Just a minute.
disqualifying
You're
the
saying that
positive?
the stage is nothing without the audience, but I gotta ask you, where does the acting come from?
Ah, but from simple tongues, the purest of queries, narrow in breadth, but as deep as the sea. The source of acting.
It's everything.
Everything, my boy. The beating of every heart. The cry of every child. The fluttering of a butterfly's wing. The roots of acting are intertwined with those of life itself.
So does acting come from the audience, or from everything?
My dear boy, you prove yet again, as the bard oft did, that 'tis the fool who sees the truth as it is. I bow to your simple wisdom.
Thanks, I guess. Let's figure out how we can bring it back to acting. Forget the audience. I know we can't see in mirrors and all, but what do you think of filming yourself?
Brilliant notion.
Oh yes.
I shall become my own audience. I shall bring myself to rapture. Forsooth, if I cannot pleasure my...
We're still talking about acting, right?
Oh, my dear boy. The pleasures of the flesh are secondary to one who knows character above all else. Indeed, we speak of the noble art.
Wait, but he says the pleasures of flesh are secondary to one who knows character above all else. But here it reads, the pleasures of the flesh are second nature to one who knows character above all else. They have different meanings.
I shall do as you suggest. If there is one on this lonely orb that can inspire an artist such as I, it is myself.
I ain't sure I'd put it exactly that way, but I think you're touching on the thing we've been talking about. The motivation's gotta come from you, amigo.
We are of one mind, dear boy. Perhaps I left my muse in the mortal realm, but I shall find him once more. Not only for myself, but also for my public. Yea, the masses flock to my Wikipedia page as moths to a flame, each a silent plea for the return of the one true artisan of the stage.
Masses flock to Wikipedia page. What is this? No.
Edmund sees his individual qualities as spurring others into action. Does he assume too much about himself?
It's again this.
Now hold your horses there, fella. You're reading a little too much into the whole Wikipedia thing. There's a million and a half
Horses again.
reasons why people might be looking you up. I mean, I hear tell the biggest Wikipedia page out there is the one for that coronavirus that got all them mortals all worked up. And I'm pretty sure they don't want that coming back.
And thus dost thou scuttle a burgeoning friendship with the cannons of enmity. Why must you challenge me so?
That's my job, compadre. Ain't we had some good breakthroughs today? We couldn't have gotten there if I'd been busy agreeing with everything you said.
Yeah, there has been no gaslighting.
Oh, very well. But I still say you are most vexatious.
I've been called worse. I think we got some homework for you, though, right? You're gonna film yourself and do some acting for its own sake.
What a homework.
We'll check back in a few weeks. But Eddie, I think you're doing great. We made a lot of progress today.
Naturally. The human condition is my oeuvre. Nevertheless, you have been a competent guide. You have reminded me of what is most important in unlife. Me. I should like to give you a gift.
Gift?
Oh, come on. You don't need to do nothing like that.
Nonsense. It is meaningless to me, but it is beyond price for you. It is my headshot, signed with my autograph.
What a lovely gift.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Cherish it always. If you help me to find my muse, then it is a gift even more precious. And I will find it ere we next meet. Of that, I promise you.
Well, let's not put the pressure on, amigo. Just enjoy some acting. That's all I'm asking for. I'll see you in a few weeks then, okay?
Verily, so it shall be. Godspeed then, boy. Thou shalt witness me new and on. Farewell.
Bye, Edmund.
A job well done, Samuel. I was particularly impressed at the way you challenged Edmund on what acting means to him.
Yeah, he's a weird fellow, but I think he's gonna do okay.
It can be hard for our kind to retain our intrinsic motivation. Something must keep him going. I do hope that he will find his. But you, Samuel, must rest. The work you have done in these past 2 months deserves to be celebrated. So do not linger here in this dusty room.
All right.
You can even be encouraged to dance.
What a frightening thought.
I think I'm gonna need a lot more therapy myself to get to that point.
Very well, Samuel. Then let us at least make sure you get well nourished. Find a friendly neck downstairs, my friend. You deserve it. And rest in peace.
Friendly neck, like those gods. But this is it for today.
At least they don't let your babies go.
How's the
But maybe don't let them be actors either.
people the raid looking? Well, I guess there's imp. So let's go there. And thanks for being here. And I hope to see you again. Let's go. Bye bye.